morning, everybody. We got John here on Mount Tammany Ridge, and the round pen project is still continuing. Hopefully, we'll be closing in on the end of the project relatively soon. The round pen panels have showed up today, and I'm going to do my best to get these things put in place and see how it does. Is it really a round pen, or is it not so round? We'll have to find out once I get these panels put in, and we'll try to get an idea. I wish I had my drone working. It hasn't been working in years. That would really give us a great bird's eye view of how it looks, but we'll just have to see how well I did building this pad and see how true to round I've been able to keep it. So let's get you guys watching what I got going on. It's nothing exciting, it's just watching me go back and forth with a bunch of panels. So I'll put a little bit of real-time footage in, and then maybe a little bit of time lapse to speed it up some. All right, well, so far it's looking pretty round if you ask me. I think it's working out pretty good. However, you can see we have a gap there. So I need to make a phone call and ask if they want to put in another gate panel, or do they want to just keep creeping in the panels of this round pen a little bit at a time until we can close that gap. So that's going to have to come in quite a bit, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing. I would prefer to keep the panels where they are. That way we can maximize the pad. But you know, there are some concerns with sand when you're dragging an arena. And say, you know, like with our arena, we were kind of sort of being tight on our limitations, because we, you know, there's a pinch point here over by the excavator where the pasture starts to get really narrow, and we didn't really want to narrow it up too much more than we already have. So that's kind of why we maxed out the pad at the dimensions we did. And we tried for 64, and we got, by the time we packed in the layers and got up to the top with the embankment calculated in, I think it's like a 1-to-1 pitch right now. Yeah, we got about 63 overall feet and diameter. So I think that's pretty good. But some of the things, you know, that could be a little bit sketchy is along this whole back section here where that wall is, you know, that stone wall and all that, where I built that up, you know, without having a roller to compact and lifts and just using the skid steer for that base layer along this back edge here, you know, is still a little bit easy to overwhelm. Not so much with the skid steer, but with, say, a tractor, a wheeled machine. So you know, it's kind of one of those things where you gotta be really careful. I'll show you an example over here. The other day when I put the last layer of sand in, and this isn't a big deal because like I said, I kind of expected this to be the case in this particular spot. So if you look down here, I'm sure you could probably see on the other side, there's a tire rut there, and that's where the tractor pushed through the corner and wound up having the right side front wheel dive off there, which, again, like I said, it's not a big deal because that part of the pad is actually oversized. When we established a center point in this arena the last time, the paint markings were approximately right where the panels are now, and all that stuff was actually just build out, you know, basically spill over from when I was placing the aggregates and stuff like that. And instead of, you know, taking those aggregates, you know, with grass and roots and things like that, picking it up and then re-putting it back into the arena, I just let it chill out there, and I said, okay, I'll just leave it and we'll stack rocks on it and it'll be good, it'll be fine. So but that's the stage we got the arena to at this point. Let me make a phone call, find out which route they want to go. They might like having more than one entrance for any one reason that they might think of, and we'll get back to you guys in a minute. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mount Tammany Ridge. Had a little bit of a gully washer last night, and I just wanted to bring you guys down here to the arena to see what kind of fun and exciting work I'm gonna have ahead of me here. And I'm not exactly enthused, but I know what the fix needs to be. Quite honestly, I probably should have done it during the building of the arena, knowing that the material that I had was something that I didn't really have a good gut feeling about because of the size of the aggregates. I kind of saw it coming, but I mean, what are you going to do? You live and you learn, right? So we're going to have to rewind this project a little bit, remove the panels that I put in yesterday, and get the excavator in there and start peeling this arena back a layer at a time, and try to fix this problem once and for all with washing out. So I'll let you see a little bit of it here. You can see right there to the left of your screen. I think that's going to be the left of your screen, but let me get the camera turned around here and you know, give you a little bit of a better look. All right, so doesn't that just look lovely? So that is the result of obviously rain, but the aggregates that I have used, like I said, they were the base, I should say, the material for the base that I had used was suggested, and you know, the way I put the arena together was more, as far as this part of the arena, was more along the lines of the original material list that I had chosen or suggested, and unfortunately this is the result of using two different methods in one and having it not work out, right? So ideally, because the aggregate that I used is a fine type of aggregate, so you'll see here, this is that pea gravel stuff I was talking about, right? So it's angular but smooth, and then of course then you got the sand, and then you've got, see if I can bring you guys over here to the pile of the stuff that I used for the base. Okay, now you'll see some of that angled stuff in there, but you'll see when it's wet, see it kind of packs, but it doesn't hold. See, it smushes pretty bad. So but when it dries, it's like concrete. So that's the problem I'm having, because that stuff is very vulnerable when it's wet. And now you've got these rocks with big spaces and gaps in them, like it would be in a stone wall. And then you've got the rain coming down through here, and it strips out the sand, sends that first, then it sends out the pea gravel, and then it works its way down to the base, which turns into liquid quite easily, and then washes out, and everything can wash right out from behind the rock wall, right through the rocks, and it sends it right out this way. So that's not ideal, clearly. So without having to get a dozer and just mow this whole thing over and give up on the project, the only other thing that I can do to save this arena from being a major fail and a headache would be to take the excavator, peel back all these layers, slowly push it up, try to separate them all the best I can, and then get down to literally our natural you know, ground, I guess you could just call it, for lack of better words. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a landscape geotextile fabric, okay, and I'm going to go from all the way over there on the other side, all the way around here, continue around to the other side, and I'm going to make a huge, clean 3/4 crush burrito. Okay, so I'm going to drop the fabric down in, and I'm going to roll the top over on itself after I put the gravel in, and then I'll bring in all the original aggregate again. So that way it'll prevent any of that aggregate from washing away through the wall, but the fabric and 3/4 crush will give a much faster drainage rate through the fabric and the stone, and come right out the wall, like seep right out there. And hopefully that will be the last fix on the arena and this area. Anyway, now we'll go to the top. All right, so if you can hear me a little bit anyway, over the excavator warming up there. This is what I was doing in the pouring rain yesterday evening, after the sun was almost completely down. I had to make a panic trench and do everything I could to prevent the rest of the arena from washing away overnight, while I was worried about it, staring at the ceiling instead of sleeping. So this worked out fine. It worked out really good. I did not continue it that way, because any of the water that comes down between the barn and the feed shed there, anything that comes down that lane, it's nice and easy, no problem, no rutting, no nothing. Largely because it's established, the pitch goes that way, and also it's got good grass, you know, so it won't be washing any of that away. But the majority of the problem comes from this cover it building, this tarp here. Okay, so everything from the ridge on this side of the building all comes cascading down, and right about there where you see that dead grass is the main flow. Okay, so what's happening is it's coming off the building, comes down through here, and it comes into about this area. Okay, and obviously before I put all that stuff there, it was going across and into the arena. You can see where I used the rake to kind of distort its original path, hoping that, you know, it would you know, make it harder for it to reestablish. And it worked. I'm surprised it worked, but it worked. And then it was following all along there, picking up a whole bunch of speed, and it went right out there. That's where that big huge hole is. So I think the bigger part of the solution is establishing this drain here. So we're basically just going to do a French drain. Same thing. Going to use a little bit of gravel in the bottom. I'm going to tamp it down in there so that the 3/4 crush kind of re-perforates. I don't want to with the bucket, you know, push down hard and squeegee the bottom, because that just packs it and it almost makes it so that it's not porous anymore. So when I put the 3/4 crush in there, I'll use my hand tamper. I'll tamp it down, re-perforate the dirt, and then put the fabric on, and same thing, fill that up with 3/4 crush, and maybe wrap it over like a burrito as well. And we're just going to basically leave that exposed on the top. Two reasons. One, over time, the grass, you know, from mowing and stuff like that, will slowly begin to creep in and cover that over. Also, we want to leave it exposed for now, because we don't know how great it's going to work. So if there's adjustments and modifications we might need to do, we don't want it to turn into something where we make it all pretty and nice and then have to tear it up all over again. So it's a little bit experimental. We're pretty certain what the results are going to be, but you know, clearly I've been wrong before. So hang on a second, let me turn the camera around. So yeah, that's what's coming up. More arena, yay! So you know, today you hear the excavator running. I don't even want to look at the arena honestly any more than I already have today. But you know, it's just kind of part of it, you know. But today, what I'm doing with the excavator, I'm going to start moving my my log pile. And not that I'm relocating it, but I need to move it from where it is temporarily. And I need to put those long logs. You might remember me taking those junk trees down in my front yard probably a month and a half ago now, so that I can take these big log lengths, put them down on the ground, and then stack my good firewood on top of it, so that, you know, we can get some airflow under them. They're not sitting directly in the dirt, all that. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm not sure. I'm going to record today what I'm doing as far as the logs. This video, I think, talking about the arena is going to be long enough to edit and post by itself. So I might be posting the relocation, or I should say the log project. I might be posting that tomorrow. All right. So if you guys like this content, if you could hit that subscribe button, that'd be awesome. Give me likes and all that. That'd be it really does help out the channel. I haven't had a whole ton of content going up just because with my new job, it's been a little bit tough. You know, I'm doing a lot of physical labor in comparison to what I've been doing in the past 12 years of my life. So I'm a bit out of shape. So when I get home at the end of the day, I'm pretty well spent. So and then of course, you know, what days I do have a little bit of energy left, I really don't have the patience or the time to be, you know, carrying a camera around for the little bit of time that I have to put into, you know, some of these projects. This arena project has really really a test, definitely a test for me. So but that's it. You guys take care. It's good talking to you, and I'm gonna get busy here on this log pile. I'll see you on the next one.